This is the Future of Automotive with Steve Greenfield.
Welcome back to the latest episode of the Future of Automotive on CBT News, where we put recent automotive and mobility news into the context of the broader themes impacting the industry. I'm Steve Greenfield from Automotive Ventures, and I'm really glad that you could join us. As we wrap up yet another year, I wanted to take this segment to observe and recap some of the biggest stories of 2023 from across the automotive landscape. There's been no shortage of interesting news this past year that's been worth tracking. First up, 2023 turned out to be the year of massive failures for vehicle autonomy. 2 months before Cruise's driverless cars were yanked off the streets in San Francisco for rolling over a pedestrian and dragging her about 20 feet, California regulators said that they were confident in self-driving technology and gave the company permission to operate its robotaxi service around the city. That approval was a pivotal moment for the self-driving car industry, or so we thought, as it expanded one of the biggest test cases in the world for the technology. But now, following the horrendous October 2nd crash that critically injured a jaywalking pedestrian, and Cruise's initial misrepresentation over what actually happened that night, officials are rethinking whether self-driving cars are ready for the road, and experts are encouraging other states to do the same. The company suspended all driverless operations around the country to examine its process and earn back public trust. CEO and co-founder Kyle Vaught resigned. It then laid off a significant number of Cruise's executives and employees. Cruise has 9 months of cash left, and one major investor, Honda, does not plan to put up any more money. Cruise has lost more than $8 billion since 2017. Tesla is having their own autonomous issues. Elon Musk's EV automaker is limiting the use of its autopilot driver assistance software as a part of a 2 million vehicle recall, one of the first results to come from an ongoing multi-year investigation by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. The recall restricts the use of auto steer. Specifically, NHTSA says the way Tesla's cars check to see if drivers are paying attention to the road while using auto steer are insufficient. To fix this, Tesla will soon ship an over-the-air software update that will add additional controls and alerts to encourage drivers to stay alert while using auto steer, and crucially, place additional checks on activating the software in locations where it's not supposed to be used. The promise of full self-driving autonomy on public roads has never really materialized. And with this year's setbacks to both Cruise and Tesla, it seems like we're even further from that ultimate goal. Next up, the United Auto Workers campaign against the Detroit 3 automakers can be described as one thing for the union, a big, big win. But the deal portends difficult times ahead for the Detroit 3, with new pacts expected to push the company's labor costs higher than initially expected when the talks began. The deals, struck in late 2023, are the richest contracts since at least the 1960s. The wage increases alone over 4 years total more than workers received in the past 22 years. Coming off this big win, the UAW signaled the next step in the union's campaign to capitalize on its success in bargaining with the Detroit 3, which is launching organizing drives at Toyota, Tesla, and other non-union U.S. factories. Riding high on historic contract wins against Detroit's automakers, UAW President Shawn Fain is confident he can take on Tesla and the anti-union Chief Executive Officer Elon Musk. And that's a great transition to our next story of 2023. 2023 has to have been the year of Elon Musk. To a large degree, Elon is X, formerly known as Twitter, where for either personal or financial reasons, and maybe both, he appears to regard controversy as a currency. Elon Musk leverages his companies to scratch the back of each of them. The porous boundaries between the many companies he leads or controls, which is at least a half dozen at last count, allow personnel and board members to freely float between them. Musk companies are often customers of other Musk companies. Musk's Tesla seems to have won the standards war with their NACS charging standard in an environment where J.D. Power surveys show more than 1 in 5 chargers simply don't work. It wasn't a coincidence that by the year end, the vast majority of legacy automakers announced that they would ensure their future EVs were reverse compatible with a Tesla charging standard. But giving Tesla too much visibility and control into charging competitors' cars may prove to be an area where competitive automakers need to proceed with caution. For example, near the end of the year, Tesla said it will charge drivers an additional $1 per minute to juice their electric vehicle batteries beyond 90%, but only when stations are busy. It would be a bad day if Tesla ends up either throttling charging speed or charging significantly more for other automakers' vehicles to charge on their network. Elon Musk's SpaceX made significant strides this year, and according to insider share sales, may be already valued at $175 billion or more. SpaceX's two-stage Falcon 9 rocket is able to launch a kilogram into low Earth orbit for just $1,500, a 10 or 20 times decrease in cost in roughly as many years. That's due to its partial reusability, a breakthrough that's helped SpaceX dominate commercial launch pads in the US. FAA data reveals that SpaceX has completed 281 licensed launches since 2000, which is 9 times as many as Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin and Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic have managed combined. SpaceX is discussing an initial public offering for its fast-growing Starlink satellite business as soon as late 2024 in a bid to capitalize on robust demand for communications via space. SpaceX started launching Starlink satellites in 2019. As of November 2023, it consists of over 5,500 mass-produced small satellites in low Earth orbit that communicate with designated ground transceivers. Nearly 12,000 satellites are planned to be deployed, with a possible later extension to 42,000 satellites. Starlink has reached break-even cash flow, a milestone for the space-based internet provider. Elon Musk's artificial intelligence company, xAI, is seeking to raise $1 billion in funding from equity investors as of the end of the year. xAI has already raised nearly $135 million. Musk created xAI early in 2023 to try to compete with other generative AI companies, including OpenAI, where Musk was a co-founder. And if all of that didn't keep Elon busy enough, Neuralink, the company Musk founded that's developing implantable chips that can read brainwaves, raised an additional $43 million in venture capital in late 2023. Neuralink hasn't disclosed its valuation recently, but in June, Reuters reported that the company was valued at about $5 billion. Founded in 2016, Neuralink has devised a sewing machine-like device capable of implanting ultra-thin threads inside the brain. The threads attach to a custom-designed chip containing electrodes that can read information from groups of neurons. But enough about Elon Musk. On to another big story in 2023, the EV slowdown. EV market share did rise to 7.4% of the US market through Q3 of 2023. A year earlier, EV market share was sitting at 5.2% of all new passenger vehicle sales. A year back, Tesla had nearly 2/3 of the EV market, as legacy brands and startups were still ramping up production. Fast forward to today, and Tesla's market share fell to 57.4% through September of 2023, as EV rivals chipped away at the leader. The outlook for electric vehicles isn't quite as bright as it was even just 6 months ago. It seems that the early adopters have already satisfied their demand, and incremental sales are getting that much harder. Despite electric battery vehicles' growing popularity, 85% of their buyers also have at least one gasoline-fueled vehicle in the driveway. Just 4% of consumers own only an EV. A study from S&P Global Mobility revealed that the fuel type loyalty rate on mainstream brand EV households was sitting at 52.1% through July of 2023, meaning that the next vehicle purchased by an EV household is equally likely to be an internal combustion engine vehicle. Auto dealers across many parts of the country say electric vehicles are becoming too hard to sell for buyers who are worried about the range, reliability, and price of these models. Late in the year, 3,900 automotive dealers across the country wrote to President Biden that electric vehicles were piling up unsold on their lots. They asked for relief from his onerous and unrealistic EV target mandate. With automakers set to release a barrage of new electric models in the coming years, concerns are mounting among auto retailers about whether the technology will have the broader appeal given that many consumers are still reluctant to make the switch. New EV supply on dealership lots at the end of November was at 114 days, more than double the supply of 71 days for the total U.S. supply of available unsold new vehicles. And the legacy automakers are taking note and action as well. Slowing demand for electric vehicles has prompted GM and Ford to postpone billions of dollars in investments as the automakers decide they don't yet need additional production capacity. Ford announced plans to cut output of its electric F-150 Lightning pickup by half next year because of changing market demand, a steep pullback of a high-profile nameplate the automaker spent most of the year working to build in larger numbers. Ford's electric division recorded a nearly $37,000 operating loss per battery-powered ride sold in Q3, which is 51% worse than last year. The company has forecast a full-year pre-tax loss of $4.5 billion for the Ford Model E unit. Thank goodness the automaker has a very profitable internal combustion engine division, which is delivering Mustangs and F-150s. In addition to the automakers, the current EV charging model isn't profitable. Startups that have shaped the nation's charging infrastructure, such as ChargePoint, EVgo, and Blink Charging, all reported recent large losses. They are reliant on a number of factors outside of their control to earn a profit, including on-time EV launches, especially for commercial vehicles, smooth and rapid infrastructure expansion with coordination between utilities and local municipalities, regulatory approvals, and more. One last thing to mention on EVs, keep in mind that EV sales really are a tale of two cities. It's Tesla versus the sea of other legacy automakers. As of the end of the year, Tesla comprises more than half of all new EV sales. Finally, 2023 has been a great year for Automotive Ventures. We continue to build our brand and positioning as the global seed stage mobility investor partnering with exceptional founders. We've now made 27 investments out of 2 funds, including the Dealer Fund, which closed in April of 2023. And we are about to start raising our 3rd fund. We continue to uncover amazing companies and their amazing founders. Thanks for your support as we continue to build the Automotive Ventures brand and presence. So with that, let's transition to our companies to watch. Every week we highlight interesting companies in the automotive technology space to keep an eye on. If you read my weekly Intel report, we showcase a company to watch, and we take the opportunity here on this segment to share that company with you. Today, our new company to watch is Scout.it. Scout.it is an early-stage company that aims to be the complete solution for EV batteries end-of-life management. Scout.it provides a service to find the most usable option for every EV battery second life, connecting suppliers of exhausted batteries with repurposers and end users. The company provides one complete platform for battery trading, sustainable battery energy storage, and the circular economy. EV battery owners can monetize the sale of end-of-life batteries while avoiding substantial recycling costs. Regulations impose the correct disposal of used batteries. Based on batteries' health, they can be recycled, repurposed, or reused, maximizing value throughout the whole life cycle. If you're a vehicle maker or auto dismantler, Scout.it can help you dispose of your exhausted batteries in a profitable way, monetizing from waste and gaining carbon credits. If you struggle to find steady, consistent battery supply to build your products, or if you are struggling to find buyers for your solution, Scout.it has got you covered. If you'd like to learn more about Scout.it, you can check out their website at www.scoutitweb.com. So that's it for this week's Future of Automotive segment. If you're an auto tech entrepreneur working on a solution that helps car dealerships, we want to hear from you. We are actively investing out of our new dealer fund. If you're interested in joining our investment club to make direct investments into auto tech and mobility startups, please join. There's no obligation to start seeing our deal flow, and we continue to see attractive investment deals available to our members. Don't forget to check out my book, The Future of Automotive Retail, which is available on Amazon.com, and keep an eye out for my new book, The Future of Mobility, which will be out in the early new year. Thanks as always for your ongoing support, and we look forward to working closely with you to create the future of the industry. Thanks for tuning in to CVT News for this week's Future of Automotive segment, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching The Future of Automotive with Steve Greenfield.